How much do you want to invest in strategic bombing?
That has actually improved quite significantly. Now you can actually target what you're bombing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I would say actually probably fairly high.
Okay, well, then I think we should go down the strategic destruction tree then.
Okay.
For the air doctrine.
In which case we may want to go down heavy fighters so we can actually cover those. Instead of fighters, potentially. If we're not even going to use fighters on the carriers, and we probably don't need fighter tech at all, we'll just do heavy fighters.
Yeah. I get behind that.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things that they've added. They've actually made the air interface quite a lot better in that you can attach air wings to armies now, and they'll move as the army moves, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the heavy bombers now have a, or rather bombing in general, has a button where you can choose if you want to hit infrastructure, factories, air bases, naval yards, refineries, etc.
Yeah, well, that's a good improvement.
Mm-hmm. It's also horribly, horribly broken, because if you target just their air bases, then they can never shoot you down.
That sounds legit to me.
It's legit, but it's too easy to destroy the air bases, I think is the problem. That's a balance issue more than a this shouldn't work like this.
So how does the AA then in a province or a county negate that? Is it just a modifier then, or is it actively shooting down planes?
I have no idea. I've never in my life built AA because I've heard they're terrible. Plus, I prefer using planes to shoot planes because it's more efficient. Especially if you have these newfangled fancy things called radar, which apparently the UK was pretty good with.
Mordred would just jump into the sky and tear them out of the sky with his bare hands if he could.
Exactly. What do you think the horns on a Viking helmet are for? So you can hit them when you're hitting them.
I know. I'm just silly because I don't think of those things.
We need to build stuff.
We're still at like 79%. You can go ahead and take care of that if you'd like, since you're doing the. I think you're pumping infrastructure up in a lot of places, right?
Yeah. Okay. I will do the infrastructure thing. To Illinois and Michigan.
I'm gonna slow this down real quick here so we can look at our decisions. So we could do region-wide industrial integration, which it would add a building slot in California if we did that. Are we full up on building slots in California right now?
Yes, until we get concentrated industry. So honestly, that's more of a late game thing.
Okay.
One thing we could do is get one of the advisors, like the Silent Workhorse, to get more political power, which means we can do more decisions.
Is that worthwhile though? My understanding on the math on that is that the political points spent on the advisor, you never make them back anyway during the course of the game.
I have no idea. I don't usually get them.
That's how I've heard them. I have no idea if it's changed though. Do we have a Silent Workhorse? Yes, there he is. Robert Taft. That doesn't look like Robert Taft, but okay.
Just seeing if any of the companies are worth getting. This is why I prefer Kaiserreich, where the companies actually matter.
I know! They're so cool in Kaiserreich!
Yeah, these modifiers are just
why don't we actually get the... Where is he? Oh, we don't have an infrastructure guy, do we?
No, we don't. Eventually we want the War Industrialist, but not yet. Not until we mobilize.
Not yet. Well, you go ahead and pick whoever you want on that one. I'll let you sort out who you want. I'm not sure the political power gain guy is the right guy to go with, but...
Alright, let's not go with him then. Let's go for one of the decisions. I would say that probably does make the most sense. Yeah, all the weapon stuff's just research time. Which,
well, the only thing we really have, I think that's worthwhile to take right now, is the improved work conditions, which is the stability goes up.
Yep.
Bam.
Cool.
Hey, time off for everybody, but no healthcare.
What do you think we are, Canadians?
Jeez, get it right. Though, speaking of, like, workers' right, or, well, rights at all, period, in the States here, there's a, Washington State recently, they declared, like, net neutrality for the state. They voted on it and, like, ratified it and stuff. They're like, yes, Washington State is net neutrality now. And the FCC's like, no, you don't. You can't have that. And I don't remember which representative it was, but it was, what they said was the FCC can say whatever they like, whether it's enforceable is another matter. And he's like, I could say that there's unicorns on the state capitol lawn. That doesn't make it so. This guy's just like jamming his finger in the FCC's eye. It's pretty good.
We have garrison brigades too. Oh, man. Let's turn yous into the pawns. Turn you guys. I need a decent icon for the National Guard so we can actually differentiate between all the infantry units we have.
Do the National Guard units chew up more resources and equipment than just their regular infantry divisions right now?
Yes, because they're bigger.
Why don't we just turn them into just infantry divisions?
No, they're bigger in a good way. It means that it would spend less army experience to upgrade to them. So if anything, we want to upgrade the regular infantry into National Guard. And then we have a load of garrison brigades, which quite frankly are just pointless. We may as well upgrade those as well.
Election?
What now?
I got the election 1936 thing did pop up. Did you not get that?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, well. our choices
So much for democracy! Blimey!
It might be because I'm the host. Maybe because you might be a few days behind. Maybe. Oh, no, we're caught up. Well, we can go with the Democrats, which are going to give us the infrastructure construction speed is up by 20% and stability is up by 10%. And then we can go with Republicans, which is industrial research time is down by 10%. And then Alpha Land becomes the leader for the Democratic Party, which doesn't make any sense. And then ideology German defense will be 50%, but we don't want none of that. So I think it's the Democrats because infrastructure is something we're building a shit ton of, right? Yep. I think we get, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats, 4 more years, 8 more years, 12 more years.
Caribbean Sphere. Just seeing what you're doing with the focuses.
Now I did add just now I added a heavy tank to the production line so we can get heavy tank production going.
Okay.
So that when we start switching over to the later models and stuff, we'll have at least some production efficiency already going.
Sounds good.
Main player in co-op games will get the major events. Oh, okay. All right. So I guess I'm in charge of events then.
Okay.
Because the game says so.
You are the main player.
I am the main player. For those that are watching on my stream, be sure to check out Mordred's stream as well, because we are both streaming this currently, and we're both going to be putting it up on YouTube later. Which he's probably going to be looking at different stuff than I am on the country. So just so you know, FYI, that is available.
And thank you. And on that note, thank you, Warbird, for the subscription. I appreciate your support, buddy. Thanks.
So what do you want to do with all these destroyers then, once we do go to war? Do you just want to suicide them at something?
Probably. And also, yes, I did mean to say as well, like, people should go and check out Bob's channel too, because he does cool stuff and streams and stuff. There we go.
In other words. Those are both done. I'll get the research first, actually. Well, we're on the cusp of 37, but
yeah,
why don't we go with... Well, we need the truck. We're going to put the truck in there first.
I was going to say, don't bother getting anything for now, because you can store up to 30 days of research. So if you're in December already, you'll store up 30 days of research, and then you can get the 37 techs without any penalties.
Yeah.
So just wait until the 1st of January, then grab those juicy industrial things.
Well, I'm probably going to slot in Construction 2, since we're building a shit ton of stuff.
Perfect.
It'll be the next thing we'll do once we're in the new year. Okay, so Sub-Commander there. Sub-Commander here, which I'm pretty much putting all the lower rank guys or the lower skill guys in as the Sub-Commanders. So I've never been super dupe impressed by the training mechanics in this.
No, they are pretty poor.
Yeah.
And apparently they worked on it for Waking the Tiger, but I haven't really seen any positive impact from that. Also, Decision.
Decision or political guy?
Your call.
Why don't we actually add... Well... Electronics research is always something I've lagged behind on, like in every game I've played.
Really? Electronics is one of the things I always, like, focus. Because I absolutely love decryption. Because it increases the chance of you getting a decent battle strategy against them, and it lets you see how many stuff they have.
No, I know, I'm aware of what it does, but it just... Somehow I always just end up being behind on that research. Oh. Not because I avoid it, because I prioritize other stuff.
Fair enough.
Well, how about this? Maybe it's a good time to discuss if we want to be, not a democracy.
This would be as good a time as any, so what would you like to do?
Well, I mean, there's multiple ways you can approach this. I've played a lot of fascism on my channel. Have you been communist mostly on your channel? Because if you are, then we got a problem.
No, the main thing that I do on my channel is Kaiserreich, and those things don't really work. Don't happen. So I am very easy either way. I actually tend to play democracy when I do vanilla democratic.
What does the chat say?
Yeah, what does chat say? Chat, let us know.
Sergey is telling me commie.
Larsman is saying
for Silver
fascism.
Legion, which that's for fascism.
Hang on, I'll set up a straw poll and I'll post it on both channels.
That's a good idea. There you go. There you go.
Straw poll. What are we? Commie, fash, e, demi.
Or maybe put put democracy in there too. See what people want to do. For those of you watching on YouTube, sorry, this will already be over, but you'll get to see what happens next.
This is why you should come see it live.
That's right.
There we go. Posted on both channels. Let us know what you think.
I will cast my vote as well.
I won't, because I should be neutral.
I'm gonna vote for commie is what I'm gonna do, because the fascist leader I think looks kind of doofy.
Fair enough.
He looks like a high school teacher.
Like my tea, thank you very much for the subscription as well. I appreciate your support, guys. Nice one. And for all the follows. Kono Oppo, like my tea, Bonsai Chanko and a Duppy. Thank you.
Well, democracy's definitely losing out in the vote.
Oh, the poor Democrats. I'm actually surprised how close it is between the communists and the fascists.
I'm seeing commie.
15 seconds. 14. 13. 12. 11. 10. 5. And 0. So yeah, communist wins. Oh. Someone voted on the nth hour. Oh, they're still voting.
Well, I mean, you got to figure
I'm taking
you're 30
it now,
seconds
so
behind on the stream, right?
That's true. All right, so
I will say your countdown coincided perfectly with some very dramatic music that just ended, as you said. Now it's time's up, so it worked out great on my end. I'm still seeing communists as the one in charge here.
Yeah, so in third place we have the Democrats with 18% of the total vote. In second place we have the Fascists with 36, which means that we have the Communists in first place with 45. So I guess we're going to do the Communist USA.
What is it even called?
The United Communist... No, United Socialist... What is it?
I guess we'll find out.
United Socialist American Republic? U.S. USSR?
I think that one's taken already.
Is it? Ah, damn.
Well, you know what we could do is we could just scrap all these destroyers and get the manpower back.
Oops. 1st of January. What are we researching?
We want the
I paused it at midnight on the 1st of January. How is that for timing? Did you get it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, but what do you think about just scrapping all these destroyers to get manpower back?
Are we really going to need it? I mean, may as well. It'd be nice.
I don't know if we're going to need it or not. I'm just saying that, you know, like, these destroyers are sitting in dock. We don't like destroyers, apparently, so...
Scrap them.
I mean, that or just send these men to their death later. I mean, like, those are the choices.
Scrap them.
Yeah, so we still have a bunch of heavy cruisers, light cruisers, battleships, and a couple of carriers on the west coast. We got some submarines out there. The light cruisers are being built on the west coast right now. So pop out all these destroyers. Marines are done. Excavation's done. I'll go and slow this down while I take care of this other thing. 58 destroyers. Bye-bye. So we got like 30,000 manpower back from all those destroyers being dismissed. So, fair number of them. Engineering. Yeah, let's just learn about the radio because that's going to give us access to more supports companies. Then industry, we're going to go with Country Industry 2 because we want to get this machine rolling.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. More CVs. We'll have more. I mean, Oddball in the NATO multiplayer, for Supreme Rule, he went crazy with like air carriers and stuff like that, and having the aircraft carriers out there. He'd always bring 4 in a group, and then so that's like 20 aircraft, I think, with the Cold War carriers that he had, which I think were like midway classes. I think is what he had. So there's quite a bit of air power descending on stuff that he was projecting on things, and it made him so happy.
Air power is good. It's like me with Portugal with the just bringing the navy.
Strongly suggest submarines being prioritized Pacific. The Kriegsmarine cannot break the Royal Navy with AI control. That's probably true. Though, I mean, we're kind of setting ourselves up to be versus everybody, though.
It's true, except submarines suck, so don't do that.
Should we just dismiss the submarines, too?
we should just totally... Well, the submarines can be good, because they can target some convoys if they ever find them, but they will...
Yeah, they still sink them.
The first time they meet an enemy fleet, they just all die.
Yeah.
Probably even more squishy than destroyers, actually. Alright, so we have a bunch of garrisons. Are we going to upgrade them to National Guard or Infantry?
Well, you said you were liking the National Guard better than just the regular old infantry. So, infantry is...
Infantry is combat with 18, National Guard
literally just infantry, and then the National Guard is literally just infantry too.
But more of them. Because eventually, being the USA, will probably go up to combat with 40, which the National Guard is just closer to, being at 24 rather than 18.
Does renaming a division cost anything?
No.
No, okay. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. People's Guard Division.
I like that we've got the token unit
People's
of
Guard.
cavalry.
I mean, I tend to go for like the cookie cutter builds, which is like, infantry and then artillery up to like, either combat with 20 or 40.
Yeah, I mean, being the US, I think we can aim straight for 40, honestly. Alright, let's go and upgrade these to the People's Guard divisions. And you can pick a different crest, so just kind of pick that one at random, almost.
I'm sorry, what?
If you want to change the crest of the National Guard, feel free.
Oh, is there a hammer sickle in here anywhere? There is a sickle.
The Reavers. I think it should be a crown.
A crown?
A crown. It's to show they're true imperial, I mean hard. Communist. People's Guard. What would you associate with the People's Guard?
I like this judgment gavel right here.
I was looking at that one too. Let's do that. Yeah. Awesome.
The people have judged you.
Alright, so are we upgrading the infantry to guard as well?
Yeah. I mean, with a name like People's Guard Division, I mean, how can we not?
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, I gotta do it. That Mexican border is all sorts of lined up. What do you guys got planned down there?
Oh yeah, they are coming for us.
Those Mexicans, man, you gotta watch out. They're gonna invade.
This is why we need a wall.
And then they're gonna take our jobs, and the people won't stand for that. This is the platform we're running on in 1936, Mordred.
I can't see how this could ever go wrong.
Those Mexicans are gonna take our job. That's why we have to nationalize everything and fight them.
Mm-hmm.
Better get that wall built. Do you want to, just for flavor, build like level 10 forts all across the border?
Sure.
Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, so I've got the focus going where we're going to get the puppet focus against Venezuela.
Okay.
Which can be our first conquest if you want to go to war really early.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so if that's the case...
I mean, you
Who's
can
this?
use...
This is a destroyer fleet down here in Panama.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm just going to delete that.
General Mark Clark is as trained up as he's going to be. I think that Hodges is going to need some extra training, because I just upgraded all of his units. I'm just waiting for him to get some equipment, but I think he can go ahead now.
Well, do you want to go ahead and... I found the best way to do the Venezuela campaign is to... In the northwest corner of their country, there's a little port right there, Zulia.
Mm-hmm.
Naval invade there, do an amphibious landing there, and then you hold it and wait for them to exhaust themselves, because they can't, like, hold up against you at all.
I would say go ahead and do that.
Okay. First, I'm going to deploy the Navy. Like, it's that oh-so-scary Venezuelan, group out there.
So,
Search
basically, everyone that Eisenhower is commanding right now is free for use.
Listen up, men! Yeah, well, of course, they've got, like, no equipment, though.
Mm-mm. Not yet.
How in the hole are we on? 25,000, this is more than it was before.
Alright, so but we're positive on support equipment, so I'm going to reduce support equipment by 2, and then increase the amount of infantry equipment we're making. In fact, support equipment...
hey, our heavy tanks are getting built now, hooray!
In fact, support equipment's that good, I'm going to drop it down to 2, and I'm going to make 1 more artillery.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We're producing 10 heavy tanks a year, Bob. 10! Dibs on the first.
What's that?
I'm calling dibs on the first heavy tank built. It's going to be my private tank.
First heavy tank? You're just going to ride it around the front lawn of the White House?
Yep.
Where's now the Red House?
This is true. Preemptive intervention.
Okay, so our focus is good until... Our war goals are good until the 5th of May, 1939. So we have 2 years before we have to act on that.
Okay.
And I think it's absolutely a good idea to... Actually, no. I'm not going to do Operation Black Chamber yet. Because that's gonna force a civil war in Argentina and in Mexico. Which I think the strategic move here is to wait until the Glorious Revolution is taking place in the U.S., and then we'll strike up revolutions in those countries and take them over later.
Sounds legit.
Thanks for the follow, Irish-German. I am German-Irish myself.
Just seeing if there's any decisions which allow us to increase communist support. Prepare for civil war. That's one of them. Oh, right. These have opened because communism on the rise. Less than 90% support for the Silver Legion of America. I guess that's the fascists.
So what does this actually do?
So I think that they've made ideology flipping harder, so you actually need to potentially fight civil war. I think basically the more support you have, the less likely a civil war is to fire off, but you do need to kind of have troops and things in place for it. I don't know.
Right.
I've not done it.
We're going to learn us about what the field hospital is, and we get excavation 2. And I'm probably going to learn what the bar and Stokes mortar is.
Do it. How are we doing on construction? Oh, I have more infrastructure I can do.
Oh, we can start developing resources now.
We don't really have any shortages, though, so is it worthwhile?
We don't, but the more resources we have, because we do have... What's our export policy?
It's free trade.
We are free trade right now, so the more resources we put on the market that are available, the more things that are available for trade, more factories we could potentially get.
True, but are we actually exporting all that we are open to export? Like exported oil.
It's only aluminum that we can export.
We're
exporting 254 and 317.
We're exporting 8 of our 1,109 oil. 16
So that's not a
aluminium.
problem.
No, we don't need to expand it at all.
See, what kills me is that a lot of these resources just disappear in the ether, and you don't actually see anything from them.
Yeah, which is kind of ridiculous. Especially later on when there are shortages. It's like, well, I could have prepared for this. Did I miss a subscriber?
Yugoslavia claims Bulgaria.
Ooh.
That's a new one. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yugoslavia being aggro.
Okay, so we'll ignore those. Because these are like 25 points. I'm not going to worry about that.
Okay.
I'll just miss those for now. Well, for now, this People's Guard division, we are going to go ahead and just set up a naval invasion here. And we'll just go to those two provinces. We've got our first liberation plan.
Huzzah.
Check if Yugo is going to commie or fascist. That's a good idea. Let's do that.
Or democratic. I've seen them do that a few times.
I'm not seeing any pluses there, anything. They're just kind of sitting there. They went Western focus.
Yes, they did.
Friendship with Italy. Interesting.
So it looks like they're going fascist.
Limited self-government, traditional values, all Yugoslavian regiments.
Yeah, they are going like all-out fascist right now.
Well, maybe you don't know because they're until they get to non-discriminating officer promotions or German military, you don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, who knows what the AI is going to do? I mean, it's looking, they're militarizing up, so I think they're looking to be friends with Germany and Italy. We got 3 chromium missing. Yep, because the heavy tank, it takes up all the chromium. The poor factory in Idaho is trying to keep up. Oh god! All the things.
United
okay, Japan's declared war on Japanese.
So Yugoslavia is bodying up to Italy, but Italy announces claims on Yugoslavia.
Dear me. And Japan's having a civil war right now.
Yeah, the communists have risen.
And
the UK is announcing the Balkan Diplomatic Initiative. So even though they've turned their back on Yugoslavia's turned their back on the UK, they're still like, be my friend.
Okay, the next thing for research